Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 in the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Disclosures. We are going to fill you in with some of the news that has come up this week and give you an update. Peter is still overseas, or technically on the border of Slovakia and Ukraine and around that region. So for now, we're going to get an update and see what's been happening. And without further delay, let's go into it. Hello, Peter. How are you?
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. So let me correct you. I am not on Slovakian-Ukrainian border. Nah, it's not just that true. I am on border of Slovakia and Austria. It's opposite part of the country. Just by the way.
Okay. So a little bit out of the hot zone. A little bit out of the hot zone.
Yeah,
meanwhile,
so the situation is, we need to talk about this situation. It's very serious situation. What I am so happy, or let's say, should I be happy or should I be worried as being a Slovak, okay? Or let's say, originally from Slovakia. There is one important thing we need to talk about, and it is fact that I don't want to say it is directly connected with our ongoing mission here in mid-Eastern Europe, but it is some sort of, let's say, if we are talking or if we are taking it from wider spectrum, it is extremely like top secret project, and it very, let's say, it tricks the treaty, international treaty from year 1997, which was signed by all the countries, let's call them nuclear superpower countries, exclude India. What is this treaty, or what was this treaty about? It is about not raising, or let's say rising numbers of active / usable nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction. So once again, all the countries all around the world, they are having nuclear weapons of mass destruction. Once again, excluding India, they signed it. Of course, at the time, North Korea, aka DPKR, the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, and now Iran, they, of course, doesn't need to sign such a treaty because at that time they didn't have had such weapons. So from obvious reasons, they didn't sign it. Now, of course, they didn't sign it either, or let's say neither. But there is one interesting, let's say, slot in this treaty. With this treaty, absolutely, like, okay, it is just for one country, or let's say countries, okay? And this is it. They didn't count with one thing, and this thing is that 2 and/or more countries will start to develop their own nuclear weapons or let's say nuclear warheads, nuclear weapons / weapons of mass destruction program. And now, you know, there is such a project. We can call it Project V5, aka Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, plus, or let's say Austria. You can try to find it. It is never ever, okay? All over the internet, or let's say on free information sources. And there is one interesting and very important thing, because it is from side of Israel. Israel, you know, it's relatively small country, but with extremely big and powerful economy. And this country is, let's say, invested and is still investing tremendous amounts of money. We are talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars in order to create atomic shield, worldwidely operated atomic shield for those 5 countries. We can only speculate why. We can speculate. Even I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I mean, what is the main goal? What is the main interest? I'm just saying, okay? And they, I mean, Israeli scientists, they are getting, so Israel as a state, as a country, is getting tremendous amounts of money, assets, resources, and everything. Their best scientists, they are making research in this field. And US, United States of America, they offered many atolls in Pacific Ocean as a test sites. And not only that, it is not like they offered and it is maybe yes, maybe not, and something like that. But those tests are already signed, and they've got, let's say, plans, just by the way, for that. And what I was like, I don't want to say uneasy, but it was so weird that everything went so fast. that at least what I know, at least 3 tests were done successfully, and nobody knows about it. I don't want to say nobody knows about it because, you know, satellites and, you know what I mean, all kind of that stuff, spy airplanes, you know, everything. All know, all those superpowers countries, they know, okay, period. But nobody is talking about it. That's my question is why? And maybe it's question for you, Jessica. Why is nobody talking about it in the first place, and why they in mainstream media nobody is talking about this project in the first place? And in the second place, what is the point? What is the interest? You know, it's my question. What do you think about it? Because I've got some ideas, but I want to, this is my question, because, you know, you are an American citizen, okay? And what do you think? And just by the way, it is not connected with Joe Biden being in presidency. It was signed even before Trump went to, you know, to White House. So that's my question. What do you think? What is the key points of interest? What do you think? It's my question.
I think this conversation really got very close to Americans since the U.S. deploys warships as the Russian fleet makes a close pass to Florida and approach to Cuba, which is like the Cuban Missile Crisis that we had years ago in the Cold War.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So whether people want to deal with this or not, it's literally only 30 miles off of the south of Florida's coast.
Yeah.
That was this past day. So for people to not be thinking about it doesn't make any sense to me. Aside from, you know, we shared that information, which still the news has not revealed what actually happened out in Nevada.
You know what? Sorry for interrupting you. My bad. Sorry. I am absolutely in shock. Why in the world nobody, like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
All of those people that could have been physically compromised, and no one has, you know, informed them aside from us, and we are, you know, not a very large media group at all. You know, we have a very limited reach, obviously for, you know, certain individuals, groups or what have you, didn't want us to get very big because they didn't want people to know about what's going on. So I guess they excuse it by saying that we're fake or what have you, but when we continue to warn people about things and it happens, and then people, you know, still try to dismiss us, and meanwhile people are getting hurt and people are dying, and blood's on their hands as far as I'm concerned if they're not allowing that information to get through. Here is another incident, should not be ignored. I mean, they've been kicking the bee's hive, right? The hornet's nest, over and over and over again.
True. That's true.
And irresponsible when you said it's not Biden. That's true, that the agreements that they had earlier, because if we had to do those agreements now with him in charge, what a disaster that would be. It would be scarier than ever. And I just feel like, you know, we're sitting ducks right now because of his reckless behavior and, you know, obviously not being fully aware of what he's doing, because he wasn't, when he got elected, he wasn't, in his faculties were not up to any type of standard of running anything, not even his own home life, you know, let alone.
Yeah, that's true.
He couldn't manage his own dog. I mean, we saw that early on. So it's, I mean, this is by design. We know this, you know, that they have.
That's true.
This up.
Yeah.
and further compromising innocent people that haven't done anything and just are trying to live a day-to-day experience, and that goes for every nation. The leadership on many nations right now are so compromised and are so irresponsible about what they are exposing their people to, and that goes for all regions of the world right now, even those that we kind of are backing. That's why we don't necessarily back any of them right now. I know that people are trying to protect themselves and what have you, and you almost like one has to rise up to defend the other. But overall, I mean, you just can't. It's just, this is not something to play with. And so if you are in disagreement with someone, you can't pull out the big guns. You don't have permission on a universal level to compromise large populations of innocent people just because you're angry or your ego is hurt or that someone is threatening you. There has to be some other, there should be more defensive modes, like you said, something that is more like protective. Something that could ricochet or dissolve whatever the aggression is posed at, and that should be done. But it's not ever been on the table of more of a defensive mode. It's always, we'll hit you, you hit us, and all it takes is for a group like the Shadow Group, who is playing everyone against each other. And I can't remember
exactly. They provoke, they turn everybody against each other and made crazy moves. I will tell you something what they are best at. Creating not chaos. Forget chaos. Pure mayhem. And they love it. They enjoy to watch like this chaos and everything, and I was like, oh my god. Hell no.
I remember there was a video game that you introduced us to, and I cannot remember the name of it. We didn't really talk a whole lot about it, but Lincoln Clay, it was like another future variation of Lincoln Clay in the future, and he has a son. And in that scenario, there was another party that got the Americans and the Russians in conflict. And neither one of them did anything, but it created a total war, like you talked about.
Like diversion. I don't know which kind of Call of Duty it was, but it was diversion. Sorry, what?
I don't know. I don't think it was a Call of Duty, but it was definitely, something like some kind of a post-apocalyptic scenario.
Because I will tell you why I am asking this, especially you, because you are from country. It is not like considered to be, definitely it is superpower, but try to take it from my point of view. We are extremely small nation, small country, small nation. We are like 5.5 million of people. It's just one big city, in US, period. And now somebody is offering us such a big opportunity. But hey, okay. We will be like, quotes in quotes, big player on the table, but for which kind of cost? Do you know what I mean? Should we lose sovereignty or something like that? Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to say this is the case. I'm just saying, it's kind of nah. We don't like this, because I will tell you something. We lived under extremely big Russian influence for 4 decades, and I'm like, hey, that's not good. That's something like, nah, Big Brother is watching you. I'm just saying, it's kind of.
Well, you're in between. You're right in between Russia and like you said, Austria, and that influence as well. So, and
No,
many of
we
those nations,
don't have any
there you
problem
have,
with Austria, but it's like, yeah, if this is like they are offering you something, just try to imagine it from my point of view. If someone who is goddamn big and strong is offering you something, and then you are, oh hey, stop. Where the heck is the catch? Do you know what I mean? There is a catch. It's obvious.
yeah, no, they're tempting people, but think of it this way. If the quality of life, if they're going to destroy the atmosphere and the earth, I don't know anyone that's going to benefit. I mean, I can't see that there would be any quality of life underground. I mean, maybe some people are okay with that, but a lot of people will not be even have access to it. There's only certain people that will have access to any
Yeah,
type of underground bunkers. So it's if people do not smarten up, and it shouldn't even be considered an allurement or oh yeah, this is where we got ourselves in this situation in the first place, where for example, the Biden family and Hunter Biden, and the allure of money, that they made a ton of money off of things that affected everyone, and other administrations did the same thing. And so now you see the compromise, and how
yeah.
people sell themselves out. And what are you going to do with that money if the earth is really in disarray, or that
It
people hate you
absolutely,
around the world?
pretty much. I will tell you something, okay, and I will not watch my language. You can burn the money if you are cold, if you like it or not. It absolutely doesn't make any sense to have them.
Yeah, it won't have any value anyhow. Yeah, you're right. If you can't breathe and breathe comfortably, or you can't avoid any type of like serious illnesses or limited lifespan, there's
Yep.
so many other things, and also the after effects, and how even the food quality, everything is just going to be really horrible. You can't avoid it. People talk about, oh, I'm going to have everything organic. Yeah, well, any kind of fallout would hit the sky. It would eventually make it to the food. Even if you go into like, you'd have to have like, some kind of enclosed area, but then, there's the sun is being blocked because of the after effects.
Also,
Look at all the after effects.
also called radiation, or let's say radioactive winter. As you
Yes.
said, sun will be blocked and everything, and air temperature will rapidly, and I mean rapidly, just get down and everything. Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. So I mean, give me a second, and that's my question. Okay, my question, serious question. Did you ever heard about this project?
Yes.
But give me a
Yes,
second. This project for Slovak, for V4 plus Austria. Did you ever heard about this project?
For you, yes, in the past. We've talked about it briefly.
But no. But give me a second. From another sources except me.
No.
No. And that's it. I mean, I will tell you something. You need to take it from both ways. For me, it's like, okay, somebody is offering us something like, okay, big time, okay, we as a 5 nations, we will be, like, okay, big players with cards, aces all over the place, on the table, and all kind of that stuff on one hand. But on the other hand, if I will be honest citizen with absolute zero, crime list, nothing, I will have no law conflict. I'm paying taxes, and I'm like, oh my God, where in the world all of my taxes is going on? You know what I mean? It should go to education system, to healthcare system, to infrastructure. I mean, building, or let's say slash maintaining infrastructure, exactly as you said. And it's like, oh my God. And people should know the truth. They deserve it. They deserve it.
I agree. There's a lot here that should be examined and looked at. But we've been talking about this for a while now, the past maybe 4 shows or so, touching on this topic, and it really has just knocked on our back door. We know that, one nation affects many nations. And of course, Russia, it started with, I think, Biden sending over long-range weapons so that Zelenskyy was using them to go deeper into Russia, and which has provoked this. So here again, is there no one at the door, or is there no one in the office that has sensible, reasonable processes of what they think is going to happen here, and think maybe 5 steps out from each decision? It's like a chess game.
Yeah, exactly, like a chess game. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I make that move, and any kind of strategy. I mean, I'm not the head of any military, and it's clearly obvious to me that when you make a maneuver like that, you are inviting the next move from those that you are provoking.
It is literally, I will tell you, like, you are asking for a trouble. Like, literally, you are asking for a trouble. Yeah.
And
but I don't know. I don't know if you know one thing, and I mean, like, one thing, that Zelenskyy is already traveling all over the Western European countries, and he's making deals. Which kind of big developing company will make renovations, restorations in which part of Ukraine, and in which kind of, how can I say it, part of infrastructure. So it looks like they believe the whole war will not stay long. Believe me, I am not kidding you. I am not.
So when they say, well, who do you predict is going, what's the outcome then?
I don't know, but it will not, I don't know, like 1 year, less than 1 year from my point of view.
Less than 1 year, but then what happens? I mean, who is the victor? Who wins? If
I will tell you, it will be like no win situation. It will be, I will tell you something, it will be like crazy marathon, in both in Vietnam for Americans and in Afghanistan, like 20 years and nothing. But this will be much shorter, but it will be like, okay, Russia attack Ukraine, and that's pretty much it, Because from my point of view, if they will have peace, treaty for peace,
Yeah.
I don't know how it will be in case of Crimea, but there will be a big, and I mean like really high level of autonomy for Donbas part of the, Ukraine. I don't know in case of Crimea. I think it will be the same. But I'm just saying, okay, I'm not sure. That's my guess.
Well, I do know that the EU is changing and leaning more towards the right, more conservative, and they're starting to object to sending over money to the Ukraine. So yeah, it's starting to get to a point where they've taken quite a bit of money so far I'm not sure what they've done with that money. I know that he's purchased quite a few homes, Zelenskyy, and some others have definitely
give me a
gained
second.
from.
I will tell you something. That means you are right, and this is where I want to lead with this idea, or let's say with this my idea. And if EU leaders will find this out, they will be mad that most of those let's say excluding directly like weaponry systems, ammo, like ammunition, all kind of that stuff. Yes, fine, but excluding that and money for that, what they can really see on front, excluding that, they pretty much created new generation of oligarchs, like extremely crazy, rich people in Ukraine. Few
Right.
chosen ones, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we all knew that, and some people were in denial of it because they wanted to keep on sending, retirement money and Social Security money over to this cause, which I knew was lining the pockets. And also, you could see
they
of
have
Ukraine
deep pockets.
on
They
the
have deep pockets, Jessica.
Oh yeah, and so what does that give them? That means that they're in charge of the world. We can say thank you. We just helped them to become in power, and you can see where their minds at. Their minds at just creating wars just to get their way, and causing other problems. I mean, this is not a nation that was essentially a normal nation. It was a nation that was used by other nations to
I will tell you something. They are not bad. They are not bad people. They are not bad people. And I'm feeling sorry for them. I'm feeling sorry for them because it's like try to be, let's say, try to walk in their shoes. It's like you have country. I don't want to say how it was, if it was good or bad and something like, but it was okay. And just because it is in the middle of let's say interests, and bam, and two superpowers crashed into your country, and and it hammered your country.
Yeah.
And just by the way, because previous regime was previous regime, the whole nation got this Chernobyl trauma, just by the way. It was big.
Suffered. Absolutely. Sorry? Yeah. The people suffered a lot. And that's not what I'm complaining about at all. Cause I do feel for the people. I'm angry that, essentially Zelenskyy was an actor. He was an actor. He was not a trained he was not someone that
he was stand-up comic. Yeah.
Comedian. Well, this was not funny. This was not whatever he did was not a comedy. It was it was a high theft, in my opinion. It was
a maneuvering,
right. a shifting of power, and now he's in charge. And there's one other person that nobody talks about.
Give me a second. Sorry that I'm interrupting you a lot. And give me a second. I don't have anything against stand-up comics. I've got a lot of friends. They've got intelligence, humor, and all kind of that stuff. But from my point of view, this is not the type of person who should
be running a nation.
Oh, no.
And he got an Academy Award. He got an award of some sort, or an acting award during this whole thing. And there's one person that nobody's talking about is Sean Penn. Sean Penn is involved somehow with a lot of different activities that people, it's almost like he shows up. He was there when they were doing all this stuff to Haiti. He showed up over there. He showed up during the Ukraine. He was acting like Zelensky's best friend. There was something going on with Sean Penn, that he's been very, very involved in some very critical manipulation around the world. And he was only an actor. So, and a surfer, like he played like the surfer guy, which brings me back to the whole Montauk scenario where those Montauk kids, I saw them on surfboards and
you told me.
skateboards.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
And that's what he became known for. That was his first movie. He was a surfer dude, and I think he really was a surfer. He lived in California, and he became a very well-known actor. Suddenly, he's on the center stage, the world stage, and showing up.
It doesn't make any sense, just by the way.
Well, who is he? Who is he? You know, what do you know about him, and why is he involved in some of these very critical things? Is he working? Is it Monarch, or who is he working for?
No. He's working. He's like co-agent Monarch Mobius. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really obvious. He doesn't. It doesn't match. It doesn't fit in why he's there, and you know, he just
because
sits
it
there
doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Nope, I'm gonna pull up some pictures and people can see it if they don't believe me. I mean, it's almost like they wipe everyone's memory of it too. It's like he's in the war room with him. Take a look at this. I mean, I'm sure some people will say, yeah, I remember that. But there's, like I said, there's always someone else orchestrating this bigger issue here.
Yep, you are right. He's all over the place once important events all around the world happens. Yeah, you are right.
He's not a soldier. What's he doing? Why is he dressed like a soldier?
You know, because I told you what. Right now, I told you. I told you.
Involved. There was also, let's see, Sean Penn. I'm trying to think of all the political agendas that he got involved with.
And in Haiti, definitely in Haiti. Yeah.
There he is with Oprah.
Yeah.
And people are like, what's he doing here? You know, and he was like directing the audience, making himself look like he cares about everyone. And like what happened, they always said what happened to a bunch of children that were there. You know, like a lot of children, they were supposedly adopted. I don't know. I mean, none of this made any sense. Him and Zelenskyy are quite the actors.
Yeah,
see,
that's true. That's what they have in common. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right.
They call him a political activist.
Yeah, but I don't know if... give me a second. There is one important thing. Give me a second. I need to send this to you. Where in the world is that? Okay, here it is in chat. If you... nobody wants to talk about that, but he was... Give me a second, please. Just go there. In Niger, you know, it is a very big country in Africa, and it is main, or let's say key ally, one of the key allies of US. Okay, my bad. It was during sorry, this need to be edited, until 2023 when happened Cup, and he was very involved in this Cup. Just by the way, he was very involved.
Wasn't there some agents that were caught going through? Was it that was in the Congo recently?
No,
Was he involved in that too?
in Congo too. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. All right.
So that this is just a link to the area, but to show, let's see,
You are right. He's
I don't know
very
if
involved, and I mean, give me a second, and I mean very involved in all kind of those crazy things going on. Yeah.
they call him a political activist.
Yeah, he is. Believe me, he is. It's crazy.
I think he was, yeah, he plays a movie about an outspoken international activist in the Congo. And some people say, well, you know, he's trying to help everyone.
Definitely not.
Here's look at, he inserts himself into international controversies, but he's being guided by someone. But they talk about him he interviewed El Chapo in a hideout. You know, pulling himself into these things. He has the Middle East that he was involved with.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You are right.
He visited Cuba, right? Family was introduced to Castro. Like, he wants to be the one that's involved with every single event. When he flew to post-disaster scenes of Hurricane Katrina in Haiti, earthquake, Penn was accused of showboating. He responded by saying he hoped his critics would die screaming of rectal cancer. So I guess he hates us for pointing out of what he's doing because he wants to be looked at as only a hero.
Yeah, that's true.
And
It's way too obvious. It's way too obvious.
Yeah, like that's kind of a weird statement. You know, if you know that you're doing something good, well, why would you even say something like that in the first place?
Yeah, that's true. That's very interesting.
He's you know, hanging around with different people. I think they said he likes to prove that some of these people are not as bad as they say that they are. Here is, let me see if I can open this up. I don't know if they'll let me open that one. Let's see, maybe it's up here. Yeah. So you can see that he's, you know, see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be, he's not a journalist that interviews people. He's making friends with these people. He's politically leveraging. And so the question is why and who is he working for? Because it's not really clear. You know,
Give me a second.
that's
I told you. Give me a second. I told you.
Yeah. But no one talks about him. No one says anything. So here again, you know, we're talking about the shadow group. We talk about, now this is Monarch and Mobius manipulating our reality through actors or people that they designated to become famous. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I'm just like letting people see some of the footage. And here he is. I mean, we look at him and say, oh, you know, this is a guy that was I don't think he went to Hawaii because I know that Oprah was involved in that Hawaii incident that was very questionable. But he makes himself look like he's a martyr. You know, here he is. He has plenty of money and he's just there to help. And but then he gets defensive if anyone questions, like, well, how are you involved? You know, what are you doing here?
And so damn right.
I mean, great pictures to make him look like he's very, very caring. And a person could argue and say, oh, he's just trying to help out, or, well, he brought us right into that whole war scenario over here. I mean, he's the one that convinced the American people to go all in. It was his conversations. Hails Ukraine's first ever Oscar victory.
Ah, interesting.
How can he get an Oscar victory if he's not an actor?
Right? That speaks for itself, in the first place. Just by the way. What do you think, huh? What do you think, huh?
There's a lot of weird things going on, Peter. A lot of weird things. Speaking of the shadow group, do you want to give us an update about the shadow group?
Yeah. Peter Todd, starts to negotiate. It's interesting.
He wanted to negotiate with you?
Yeah.
Is that where they were trying to tempt you to compromise?
Yeah. I will not. That's so crazy, jeez. Isn't it?
Put some money or something on the table, huh?
No, not money.
Power?
Because they believe that there is, quotes in quotes, planet B. Not plane. Planet B. Like second Earth or something like that, jeez. That, we can poison this planet, not a big deal. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about, man?
Is there a planet B like he said?
He literally said that, and I was like, do you really believe it is that easy to colonize another planet? Oh my God. They are so naive. Oh my God, now. No, they really said that, Jessica. They really said that.
It reminds me a little bit, I don't know if this is related, but you said that there was Wall Rider, which is a plan, and then
and Ball Rider,
Ball Rider is Plan B. Is he in with Murkoff? Then is he part of this?
Ball Rider reality? Yes. It looks like that. But Jessica, it is not illusion, it's delusion. But do you know what is the main part of problem? That they believe that. Oh my God.
So let's get back to, all right, so how did the conversation go? So you told him it's not that easy, and then what was his response?
He laughed and he said literally that it already works and it is not that complicated and all kind of blah 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 like nonsenses. And I was like, okay, so why in the world you just left this planet for us, and you will move to planet B in the first place? Say? And he was like,
that's a good response.
Sorry, what?
That's a good response.
Yeah, and he was like, no, this is our planet. And I was like, nah, this is not.
Okay.
He said that this is our planet. And I was like, do you really believe that Gaia want bad guys here? And he was like, no, there is no Gaia, not such a shit thing. Sorry for language. He said that like he doesn't believe in any sort of astral things and supernatural thing. And I was like, I think you should think twice before you say something, because it will hit you big time. And he laughed at it like you know, like ROFL and all kind of that stuff. And I was like, okay, I warned you and all kind of that stuff. And he was like, are you blackmailing me or something like that? And I was like, hey, not me. There are entities, they are very, and I mean very old, and don't try to set them up because they will hunt you down. Am I right?
That's when you hit like a wall of bricks, right, Peter? That everything is fine, you're coasting along, and then
No,
you
but
hit the wall.
please, how somebody, please,
Yeah.
okay? How in the world somebody can be that stupid?
Mind control?
I don't know,
Mind
maybe. Because look, Jessica, look, okay? Even if I don't want to say I'm not believer, but just imagine, okay, if I don't believe in any sort of religion or something, but there should be at least some sort of basic sort of sanity, you know, like, okay, there are powers, there are entities, it created something somehow. Somebody created the whole stuff and under us, and it's like, no, I don't want to set it up. Not because once it is upset, not, it is like bad news bears for me. And those people, they are provoking it. I will tell you something. They are asking for a trouble. They are literally, because it is this. Literally, Jessica, he said that this is our planet. I was like, what? No. Gaia, don't strongly disagree with you. Oh my God! Sorry, this is never lot. This is never lot. Sorry.
How did things end up then for you, Peter? How did you? How was that conversation?
You know, he doesn't absolutely understand the things. He did not. Because they believe in such a big delusion, like they've got everything under control. I mean, give me a second, Jessica. They literally believe that. It is crazy. They literally believe that.
It explains that their behavior, like they're not in the right state of mind. But it's, here again, it's very dangerous. It's like having someone that has dementia or Alzheimer's, you know, running a nation. It's the same thing. It's scary. It's like, you never know, you know, you're literally like hanging off of a cliff in many different ways, and at any moment everyone's at risk. And that's why it's almost like this roller coaster ride of that, you know, one thing happens and another thing happens, and then we're almost in this huge war, and then all of a sudden there's this pandemic, and all of a sudden there's this, and it's because they're at the helm, you know. It's I don't know, you probably don't know this, and the Americans will know this, especially my age group, you know, is Mr. Magoo. It's like Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo was this guy that was blind, and it was a cartoon, and he'd drive his car on the wrong side of the road. He'd drive his car through neighborhoods. I mean, just like he would, you know, like over like crazy scenarios, and you just watch him, and he was like a horrible, scary driver, and somehow he was always okay in the end. But that's what it feels like. That's who's in charge.
No, now I understand what you are trying to say. Now it makes sense. Yeah, but literally, but he was in such a, it was like he was in shock, and he was like, for a few seconds, first few seconds, he wasn't able to answer, like, no, this is our planet. No, this is our planet. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's that kind of ego, and I'm in charge, and I'm in power, and look at me. And
Exactly that. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that.
you could see that with Peter Toth. I mean, he just like, I think he pushed somebody because they were trying to take pictures of him or something. I mean, you could see he's got like this attitude, you know, I'm important, or watch out for me, and that kind of thing. Which,
Oh,
you know, he is dangerous.
definitely he is. Oh my God, he's like egoistic, egocentric, psychopath, maniac, something like that. I'm in charge and all kind of that stuff. You know, like, oh my God. And all eyes on me, all eyes on me. Aye, aye.
Yeah, I'm going to share something too, though, so for
Okay.
you to bring up. Okay, so is he doing well?
Yeah,
It looks like,
definitely. Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know if I think we can play a little bit of this, but he essentially,
Maja Vandlovej to teda nebol útok nejakého pometenca. Opozícia zneužíva to, ako veľké demokracie presadzujú jediný povinný názor zásadných zahranično-politických ponukou nemôže byť oponenta bezdôvodne zatvoriť alebo zákrene zabiť. Nad týmto sa opozícia bude musieť zamyslieť.
okay. So someone asked me, they said, is this real? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not real fake.
This is, give me a second. This is real in the first place. So it's not fake video footage, but in the second place, they obviously don't want to say that it was pretty much the mission of, you know, shadow group. They are talking about political opposition. And just by the way, political opposition know it. And the main part of problem is all the politicians through the whole spectrum, they were threatened. You know, it was absolutely crazy. So, the opposition leader, you know, Michael Šimečka, he got the bullet from the same caliber the FICO was shot, just by the way. He get it in the small package. Another opposition politician, Richard Sulik, he got brand new car, like 1 or 2 years old, and the car was burned, just by the way. It almost exploded, you know. It was crazy. So it isn't, especially as our PM, Prime Minister, is talking about. Once again, to create chaos, mayhem, and diversion and distraction. Okay, this is big difference. Okay, and all of the politicians know about it, and they are just, quote in quotes, play the game, because they know that there is much bigger player on the table. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or let's say on the playground, but they don't even want to talk about it publicly. They don't want, because it's taboo.
No.
Do you know, it's taboo? Like, no, we don't want to talk about it.
It's not smart at this point.
Oh, no. It will only make them more angry. And I mean, like, goddamn more angry. It will be bad news bears for them.
No, I agree. I mean, they have to be smart, and because of security reasons, there's certain things that are withheld. And I know some people want, like, true disclosure. They want the truth to come out. But when it gets to a point where it's endangering others, sometimes, like, I do agree with some of the government structural, you know, those that are handling information. Sometimes it is wiser to protect for the well-being of people to hide certain things. You know, you can't reveal everything and then put national security at risk. You know, I mean,
of course not. Of course not.
so it's good to see that he's recovered, but also on a personal note, my friend is very grateful when he heard that message from him, because you remember the shadow group used his energy or whatever, because this guy that was the fake assassin, or the
decoy shooter, yeah.
Shooter, yeah, that he said that he is not pressing charges because he knew he was a decoy shooter, right?
Give me a second. He knew that, like, okay, once he came back to himself, I mean, once he came to the conscious, he knew it from very start. I mean, like, literally, okay, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell by the way they can tell, just like all these people over-examining the whole thing, like the JFK shooting, and you can see the entry and the exit point, and they know that kind of thing. Even like, not even the extreme experts, but just the average officer has an idea of, you know, entry and exit point of a weapon, or if someone gets shot, they know what's going on.
Exactly. You get it.
So yeah, well, it's good to hear that he's recovered. They have some pretty amazing doctors, and they handled it, you know, very well. And so Peter Toth here again did not win this situation. Not, you know, like whatever that they were trying to do. I mean, they're still active in the Middle East, which is another issue.
Yeah. That's big problem. As you said, that's big problem, yeah.
And they're kind of holding you there. I mean, you need to stay there until Peter Toth is what? Till you have enough, maybe you can wake him up in some way that he can better understand what he's doing. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if there is a soul left, pretty much. That's a question.
Yeah, then that is a big problem then.
Because
although
those people, look, a hunger for power, for money and everything, it is like a cancer for your heart. I mean, not physical heart, but I mean for you being good person, for your ability of empathy, and for your soul, like being a good person. It's like if you have cancer for your body, those kind of hunger for power, for money and everything, it's like a person, like a cancer for that. Oh my.
there's something to be said about you violating your own conscience. That means that there's a point of view that understands and is connected to the divine God source, you know, however you perceive that. And when you continue to violate that warning, that inner warning that this is wrong, or you've done something very bad, eventually you break from that so that you don't feel it anymore, but you're also disconnected from the God source. So that could explain why he is not feeling the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. You know, he's not feeling.
It's like, nah, there is no Gaia. Nah. And I was like,
right.
What?
Not really thinking about the casualties of innocent people, because that's a huge repercussion. I mean, you cannot kill that many people and get away with it. I mean, there's a huge compromise in your soul. I mean, someone asked me, they say, what happens to these individuals, like these serial killers and all that, and which I actually have a serial killer.
Give me a second. I want to ask you, just by the way, that's a good question. Can you explain that to us? For example.
I told them, I said, you know, obviously I'm not God, you're not God, you know, we're not the ones who make that decision. I also believe that we make our own agreements and decisions as a soul, and then things happen from there. But you can get to a point of no return. In my opinion, I believe you can violate your consciousness so many times that you can cease to exist, and I think that is possible. That's my opinion.
You are very right. Yeah, you are very
But
right.
who it happens to for sure, I don't know. But I have seen it happen a few times where certain souls don't cease to exist. But it doesn't happen very often. You really have to push it very hard. Like, for example, if you were like Alexander the Great, did Alexander the Great cease to exist as a soul? I don't think so, but he killed a lot of people, true. But was he under some form of mind control? That's a factor that gets weighed out in the greater scheme of things. And here again, like I said, it's all on an individual basis that we don't fully understand. You know, everyone wants to say
or let's say, for example, if we don't want to get way too much into history, what about for example, Hitler and Stalin, for example? And we got.
Well, I have a question. I mean, did how many people died under Fauci's reign, or the World Health Organization?
Oh,
how many people died under them? Can you compare that to Hitler and Stalin?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Just a thought. You know, I mean, it's if it's the same amount of people, why keep on saying Hitler, 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 when you know, if you step away from it from an objective point of view, there's more than one that has done this. And Hitler did it straightforward. He did it as in a war, and he had a wrong cause, but a lot of people, when they're distorted in their mind or they're angry, but here again, you know, like he said, he was
from
Jewish,
my point of view, Stalin was even worse. From my point of view, there is no doubt about it.
But if we go by population, how many people died? This pandemic, how many people died during the pandemic?
Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah.
So who is you know, the most evil person possible? The one that wants to depopulate humanity? The nice little guy that says, hi, you know, I like computers and my name's Bill Gates, but I think that we should lower the population. This is how we can do it. And he says it in a nice way, and everyone's like, that's great, congratulations, thank you, you're a great inventor, now you're a doctor, and now you're the one who's deciding who should live or die on the planet. And so it comes up very carefully. So but he doesn't have a swastika sticker on him, but he believes in eugenics, and in maybe in his mind control, or someone had manipulated him in a way, maybe his family, I believe his father was, and in his mind he actually thinks this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, and he really, and right? Just by the way, the worst stuff it is, he really believes on that. It's like, and is there something bad about it? Literally like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't see it. But what separates him from what everyone's calling Hitler? What's separate? Like, and I'm not defending Hitler. Wrong is wrong, but wrong is not just wrong for one person. Wrong is for every person that does the same thing.
For Stalin too, for example, for Stalin too, just by the way.
Yeah, any type of mass elimination of innocent people. Just there's something I wanted to bring up too. There's that whole scenario of the Winchester House. We've looked at the haunted places, right? The Winchester House.
Oh, yeah. That is crazy. Right? This mansion, Manchester Villa. Oh my God.
The Winchester House is very interesting because.
Give me a second. I need to. Sorry for interrupting you, but what is the purpose of those blind hallways and everything? Do you have any idea why? What is the purpose of it?
Yeah. So this gets back to people that are involved with mass killing. You know,
okay,
like the guy that's over Pfizer, right? Borla, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Every soul. Now he says that the reason why, and there's a quote somewhere, the reason why a lot of these people died is because their genetics needed to be edited. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the universe that created us,
Give me a second. Stop. Give me a second.
We didn't need to be edited by him.
Cool.
That's
Hey,
for sure.
stop. No, stop. What the heck? He literally said that?
Yeah, he said that. I had some footage. We'll try to get that. Make a note of it.
No.
But
Give me
yeah,
a second.
Borla,
Stop. This is way too crazy. What?
let me see if I can find it really quick.
What?
Yeah, he said that we needed to be edited. I don't know if they'll even let us put this in here.
Oh my God. This is way too crazy, okay? Oh, yeah.
So if imagine, humans have intrinsic value of the God source. They say, some people say they're a shard of the divine, right? So they have this glimmering.
But give me a second. That's true, just by the way. That's true, just by the way.
Right. What right do these people have tampering with that? They have no right, none at all. And then for them to say, justify essentially a mass slaughter and say that's okay because it was your fault. It was your family's fault because of your genetics. I'm trying to see quickly if where he said something like that. I think it was in a video that I watched, which, we're running risk of them just shutting, canceling this video. But I do encourage
just
people
don't
to
do
look
that,
at,
Jessica. Just don't do that. Just don't do that.
yeah. So essentially, and this is the whole thing, is that whole, considering humans as machines and that they can tamper with it or whatever. But getting back to the Winchester House, the Winchester House is a perfect example of what does happen. Is when they created a gun called the Winchester gun.
I know.
And the family that came from the creator, the Winchester family, started having some very bad luck. And they started to consult psychics or mediums, kind of like myself. And they said, well, there's a curse. There's curses coming from the people that had lost loved ones because of the Winchester gun. And so the best way to get around it is to continue to confuse the ghosts that had died violently from the gun and confuse them. And so when they go into one room, they give them false doors or, keep building.
Okay. Now it makes sense. So okay.
They could haunt them at night. And this is a real deal. Those people that have been involved with any type of mass annihilation of human life, of innocent souls, of children, women, elderly, men, old, young and old, even children that are heavily, given certain amounts of whatever, and not just that, but even like these wars, what's happening in the Ukraine, to anyone, or what's happening in Russia, or what's happening in the Middle East, and all of the innocent that are getting harmed, those that are making these decisions will have levels of haunting.
Oh,
there's no way around it. You need to answer to those souls for what had happened.
Give me a second. So you are saying basically that whatever you will do, it will, in the end of the day, as it is saying in English, in the end of the day, it will hunt you down, right?
Yeah, let's look at Alexander the Great. What happened to him? As soon as he said, I took over the whole world, he was in his 30s. He said, I conquered everything, and then he sat there and drank himself to death.
Yeah.
He had voices, he saw apparitions, he was haunted by it. And I know even military guys that are, they have these demons, they call them the demons or whatever, but the spirits showing up in their dreams and in the nightmares and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very real. I've been dealing with this stuff with since I was young, and you see that kind of activity happening,
Hey, I am in military for 35 years, 36 years, so believe me that I know what you are saying.
You've got your share of ghosts, yeah.
Yep.
And my father was in the Navy.
Ah, okay.
He was in the Navy. Yeah.
So you know
So,
what we are talking about,
Yeah, and it's something that we can't really ignore. So like that's why I just shake my head and say, I think we probably have about, I don't know, is there possibly 50 movies about why Hitler is bad? And like here again, I'm not just defending Hitler, but why are people not looking at the bigger issue of it doesn't matter what kind of uniform you wear, or if you make yourself look like a scientist, like what's happening with the corporations.
Yeah.
If you are harming a large population,
because from my point, because I don't know if you know that, but so many people in Russia and former Soviet Union, I mean that region, despite they filmed, I mean they made a lot of movies, historical movies, and not like quotes in quotes drama, but really factographed movies, like historical movies, how bad Stalin was. They will just hear you and hear you out, but in the end of the day, they will say, but thanks to him, we won Second World War. Period. It was so crazy, man. Oh my God.
It is. It's
and give me a second. I will tell you something. And I know from people they survived Second World War, that he literally directed military operations in order to have as much causalities as it was possible, because he knew that it will be extremely, I mean, the Soviet Union, it will be in need. Like, people will be poor, and it's like, okay, less people, less problem. You know what I mean? In Russia, it is like нет человека, нет проблема. That means no man, no problem. No, I mean.
Well, that carried over. Trust me, that past that seemed to be the term that's used quite a bit.
Yeah.
That without the population, things would be better. And that was like, the Georgia Guidestones, which we were at right before that thing got hit. I don't know exactly who hit that. It wasn't us, but I know that energetically we definitely shifted it, because that should not be there in a way as a role model for anybody.
Yeah,
and no one should take the liberty of saying who should stay or who should go. And if people really believe 100% that depopulation is important, then maybe they should consider that they should sacrifice themselves for the cause, but don't bring other people into
they should be first. Yeah.
There should be proof to us that you believe this 100%, and show us by example, rather than imposing that in others that are completely innocent. And I think, when we talk about soldiers, and there are levels of valor, the people, are there to defend and protect. And with soldiers fighting against soldiers, even as hard it is to watch, that's something that sometimes has happened and probably will continue happening in time, and maybe to a point until we don't feel like that needs to happen anymore. We can communicate and get through things. But I think it's the killing of children and innocent civilians is what people are up in arms over, and they should be, because if they should never be a target in any war. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that happens with the peripheral damage and things like you said, some of the border areas between the Ukraine and Russia. Those people got hit pretty hard. You know, a lot of situations like that. And now here we are, you know, the people of Florida are at risk, or the ICBMs that they were trying to send over to the coast multiple times. That was not in the news either, but I think I'm satisfied the ACIO intervened on that behalf, and I'm also happy that the ACIO is there, and you as well, Peter, to try to deal with the shadow group, maybe as we say, knock some sense into them.
Yeah.
You know, some you know, maybe they need a little, you know, something across the head, you know what I mean? We have to say they knock some sense into them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when the Italians have that little something that we would do, you know, to wake a person up if they're acting out of line, and get them to start being reasonable. So yeah, whatever it is that you need to do, I mean, I'm glad that you're there to deal with that.
From my point of view, that's it for today's show, Jessica.
Okay, Peter.
So I want to say thank you, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. I want to say thank you to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners for their patience, that they still are till the end of the show. And that's it. Stay safe, stay fine, stay strong, and I am really looking for next time. Hold tight and bye-bye.
Okay, Peter, and thank you very much for the intervention that you're doing right now. And we want to keep everyone informed and updated. Also, you know, continue to leave comments and questions for Peter. For those of you that are trying to reach out to Peter right now, he is not readily available, but we'll let people know, you know, if things change. But and also it's kept me very busy as well. So, but reach out to us, you know, if you need anything, you need to connect, or if anyone needs some assistance or a session, you can contact me still. I'm still available. But here again, you know, let's hold highest intention for humanity, and let's stay safe always. Have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.